pretty much padded down. Now time to set up shelters. Hello. Tonight, me and Chris has come out here.
Hi.
We don't get out as much as we used to these days, but we've managed to get out a few times there this winter.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy the winter camping. Tonight, we're doing a minimalist camp. So, what do you got for a shelter?
I got an 6x8 tarp.
He's got a 6x8 tarp, and I've got my Reflex survival shelter. Now, what else we brought is a sleeping bag, a sleep pad, and another tarp, 6x8 tarp, that's going to go underneath the sleep pad. That's it. That's all we're having for the shelter tonight. And sun's setting, so we've got to set these up. What we'll do is show you what it looks like when they're all done. He's setting yours up in the basic survival type lean-to, and I've got my Reflex survival shelter as I mentioned. So let's get busy, man.
Yeah.
Get ridge line all set up. So I have taken a 6x8 poly tarp and I have folded it, the 8th foot length is lengthwise, and I folded it to about 3.5 to 4 feet wide. And that allows my sleep pad to go on there, and I do not have to worry about my sleeping bag rolling off the sleep pad, which it pretty much always does, and land in the snow. Now, whenever you put poly tarps on the snow, it's like a crazy carpet. It is slippery, so you got to be careful. So when I'm actually going to get in, I'll just lay down like that there, and then it don't move. But if you're trying to, you know, put your weight against it or something like that there to hold yourself up while you're getting in, it may just slide away on you. So just take care whenever you do something like that. But it creates a vapor barrier from the snow to your sleeping bag and your sleep pad, so you stay dry. So like I said, this is minimalist camping. 6x8 tarp. This here is actually 2 4x6. I prefer the 6x8 on the bottom just so I can fold it to about 4 feet, but I have 8 feet long. Now using the 2 tarps folded and such, he has 8 feet long, 4 foot wide as well. So it gives us lots of room so our sleeping bags does not get wet. And this here is just simple. We slept on top of ice and snow like this many times with these sleep pads. Not all sleep pads are created equal, I'll tell you. So you definitely want to know your sleep pad. But he's all set up here. I'm all set up. All we have to do is pull out the sleep bags. But we don't pull out the sleep bags until we're ready to sleep. Because any moisture in the air and such, if you leave your bag out in the open, it's going to get inside your bag. It's always a good time when you have Bushcraft TV. That is feeling good. Of course, I'll let that burn down. That's just freshly started, but it'll settle here soon. I'll keep adding wood to it, me and Chris, and yeah, just enjoying watching the fire on a sub-zero night. Fire is so awesome out here. This here is about the perfect size fire. If I was cooking on it, I'd probably even have it lower. This doesn't have to consume half the forest for Campout. I'm out here so often that I would basically strip a forest if I had a big bonfire every time I'm out here. So just a small fire, you know, this is a couple dead trees, and this is going to last me hours just by putting on a stick or two. Chris is back there, you know, sawing this tree up, but he's getting firewood for it. I've already got some for it, but this here is just perfect. Gives you something to do, gives you something to watch, and the heat feels good. So for this minimal camp, I had brought out my Kalahari inspired axe that I made. Plus, I have my Maritimer survival knife. Chris brought out his folding saw, and he has a knife as well. And then we have a couple tarps. I've got the reflex shelter, sleep pads, and our sleep bags, as well as headlamps and our sleeping bags. That's it. We have done this for years, and we know what we can get away with. And if we don't have it, we improvise from the forest. But if you're ever going to do anything like this, do it safely, because this is sub-zero, and this can be deadly if done wrong. This here is how we actually enjoy the forest in the winter time. This is, like I said, the fire is awesome right now, and we're just chilling out, chatting, and just hanging out here. The stars is amazing out here as well. It's just perfectly clear. It's just a gorgeous night. So I wanted to bring you along just so you could share this experience a little bit. So I wanted to share the simplest bush chair that I know. This here is arched perfectly, this old birch tree. All I did was get a bunch of dead brush piled it here, and it's enough to keep me out of the snow and off the ground. I've been sitting here for a while, and no cold's coming up through at all. And I'll tell you, get off my feet. This is awesome. My back isn't what it used to be, and I'll tell you, I'm watching the fire right there, and this is a very comfy spot. So this here is the easiest bushcraft seat that I know. Pile of brush, right arch of a tree, and I'm not feeling any cold from the tree either, so yeah, good times. So I did forget to mention, I've got my dingle dangle system, as I like to call it. It rattles around. That had some stakes on it, but that's where I had my ferro rod and just some odds and ends on here. And I did bring a water bottle and my cook set as well. So now it's time to dig out the sleeping bag and lay it out and get some sleep. So this here, these minimalist camping, trips are always fun. It brings us back to basics, basically just simple. Me and Chris has been, or should I say Chris and I, has been camping, since teenagers. And I'm turning 56 this summer. So we've been camping, under different, pieces of plastic and so on, in the snow and so on, since teenagers. So it's always been, memorable. And as you've seen with the mini up and such, that's like a cabin in the woods, heated and so on. It's more work, really, but it's glamping. So it's pretty cool to be able to hit both those ranges, but always like just the simple and effective ways. Now this sleeping bag exceeds the predicted temperature for tonight. I've got a minus 15 bag, and it's supposed to be down around minus 5, could be down to minus 10 kind of thing, but I've got a minus 15 bag, so I am prepared. So gonna get this ready and such, and get some sleep. Is there anything you want to say, Chris?
Good night.
Good night. Okay, so that's gonna be the video. Thanks for coming along, and take care and stay safe. All the best.